Alright, this is the new clutch system. This goes into the shaft on the motor. Keyway slides in. The difference here is this piece, it comes off and it's got these rubber bushings all the way around and a spot here for the large keyways, and these drop into the gearbox on the grinder. So once this is in place on the grinder, you drop the motor with the clutch right onto these rubber bushings. So they just slide right in like that. Alright, the bolt and washer also come with this new clutch, so that after you've got your clutch and keyway in place, you screw this in and that holds the keyway from sliding out during mounting. Basically, it's like an extra point of security for your keyway. Okay, and your final piece is the keyway. You want to make sure that it slides onto the motor shaft easy. You also want to test fit and make sure it slides into the clutch easy. Okay, just like that. The next thing I do is I use a little bit of the synthetic lube to make sure I get a nice thin layer on here. Make sure you get all the way around it. I'm also going to put a little bit inside the clutch. It doesn't need to be a thick amount, it just needs to be a little bit. Again, I've got a little notch for the keyway. I want to make sure that that's lined up with this notch. And then I'm going to slide the washer on. And now we're ready for the clutch. This is the side that goes onto the shaft. This is the side that sticks down. You want to make sure you have that orientation correct. And then you also need to line up the keyway slot on the clutch and the shaft. You get the clutch started. Make sure your keyway shaft's lined up. Shove the clutch in all the way. Now I'm going to take the keyway and slide it in. Just like that. Now I've got a little bit of thread lock on this. So now I'm going to set this bolt. That holds our keyway and our clutch nice and snug. And a 5/8 wrench. And there we have it. So you can see that the clutch is in tight and this ring takes up any slack so that the clutch doesn't slide up or down. This is in nice, spins free. And these holes are facing the bottom. Okay, for the 800 we have 2 of these keyways. You want to make sure they're in there nice and snug. So I use a rubber hammer to make sure they go in. And both sides. For the 800 we use two of these going into the gearbox. On the 680 you really only need 1. And here you can see the notch where the keyway goes, and that's how this is going to slide in. So the first thing I'm going to do is grease this piece up a little bit. I'm going to lube it with the same I use on the motor shaft, and a little bit of grease on the keyway as well. Okay, and with these facing up, you just line up that slot with the keyway and drop this in to the shaft, into the gearbox. Just like that. Now that's in the gearbox, ready to install the motor. what I'm doing is I'm just getting it close so I can see how I'm lined up, and I can turn this freely to help line up those lower bolts. And then just drop the whole machine with the clutch down onto it. And once you get it lined up, just drop it right down on there. And now you're ready to bolt the motor down. Install the motor bolts. Make sure you use some thread lock on all 4 bolts. Make sure you start these bolts by hand so that they don't get cross-threaded, or at least halfway down before you put a wrench on them.